So many days have gone by, but there's no help inside. The voice of the forgotten, can you hear them cry? This is what they're saying.
In 1995, my mom and dad, along with my uncle, were invited to India, not knowing that this would be the first of many trips. Over the span of 20 years, they helped with feeding the poor, building schools, orphanages, and senior homes.
What About Us was a song that I wrote a number of years ago. The song deals with the disparity of children and women and men who have been displaced. I was really moved by some of the images that I saw that my dad shared with me on a number of his trips. There's I guess a Chinese proverb that says, one picture is like the equivalent of 1,000 words. I'm paraphrasing. The idea, though, was how could I get the feeling and the sentiment of what I was seeing in that picture? How could I describe it in music? And well, I recall writing, walking through the streets.
With no food to eat. Children are begging their mothers for bread, with tears running down their cheeks. The land of the forgotten, can you hear their cry? This is what they're saying.
In 2013, I had the chance to go to a missions trip to India, and it was very, very special. I had the opportunity to meet lovely children who were less fortunate and teach them songs, embrace a whole new culture, and it really was a wonderful time. My experience was so life-changing that I went back 2 more times, and my 3rd trip was in 2019.
We are in Andhra Pradesh, and Tabby's singing to a small group of children here.
So I really thought about the children. We supported, different orphanages and schools in India. And of course, those images, they really came to life while I was, writing and composing.
So, where were you when you wrote the song?
Wow, that's a good question. I was probably on the road. More than likely, I was working out of town. I do have a notebook that I do scribble and I write, notes on and different ideas for lyrics and stuff. I want to say that I was in Ohio, but I'm not 100% sure. So I was away from DC and was in a hotel room. I had my little small mini controller and a laptop, and that's really all I needed. Now that I'm thinking of it, I know the inspiration first came with the music. There's a line that starts off dun 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 dun.
I do like how that song, the music in the beginning is like dun 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 dun. That kind of makes you want to bounce, And then you have that orchestra kind of sound. Is it an orchestra sound? Yeah. And then it's just like dun dun. Dun, dun, dun. So it's gets real sultry, kind of, sort of, but it's not a sultry message, y'all. Okay, it's not like that, but
it's supposed to give this flair for the dramatic, like something that you would see in a movie. I just remember thinking, it'd be cool to have this big intro build up and then have all this space in a verse where it's just some pads. And
when the verse comes in, it's just like, I don't know, it just grabs your attention. Like, I don't know the words right now, but it's real silky. Tidal did a really great job on the vocals on that. Then the rest of the song just, what about us? It's just really straightforward. Just, what about us? And then, of course, the message is powerful. It's like, okay, we can't forget about these children that are struggling, that are suffering, that are going through all these things.
Kevin Rutledge who's done a number of other songs with me, he helped me out with the production of the song. All right, so when you were told that you had to play acoustic drums on top of the programming, what was your thought?
Oh, well, I thought that we were gonna replace the electronic drums. That was my thought at first, but I think when I got to the studio, you said, "Oh no, we're keeping them. You're playing over top of them." So I was like, "Oh, okay." So we was just kind of trying to find, what drum set worked good with these drums. Of course, the drums are kind of punchy, so we had to, use, find a drum set that had a nice little punch. They kind of attacked a little bit, but something that'll mesh really well with the electronic drums that's already in there. So I think we did a pretty good job. I think we pulled it off.
The drums are amazing. I have like my inner drummer that comes out. I'd be like, I just think it's so fun how Kevin just went ham on the drum. And what's even cooler about it is that my son is always asking to play it in the car. He loves it so much too. And I think it has to do with the drums just being totally like on.
One of the most rewarding things is that, yes, I had the opportunity to meet some of the children I had seen only in pictures.
I want to let each and every one of you know that you are beautiful. You are handsome. Never forget that. God loves you so much that He sent His whole team, including myself, to let you know that He loves you. Amen. Each of you has greatness inside of you. I love you guys so much.
It's greetings. These are the gypsy children he hasn't seen in 4 years.
Right there.
You remember some of them?
A few of them I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been 4 years.
Wow.
So some of them were a lot smaller.
Yes.
But last year was my first time. But there are more that are missing.
What we do?
More that are missing.
Now, a lot of them are grown up now. They're teenagers. They're enjoying a better life because of the care and concern that many people took to just give and donate and to ensure that these children grew up at least with having basic needs met, education, food, shelter, that kind of thing. The imagery of just seeing the eyes of a child and the innocence and the fact that that innocence must be protected, children should be cared for. And obviously there's situations like that all over the world. But I felt as though it was my responsibility to be a voice, to speak to that. And what about us really, really personal in my way of being able to talk about that situation and to not ever forget about, those who are innocent, because all life is valuable.